What's up, everybody? You already know who it is. It's DripGodDero, and I'm back at you guys with another banger. So, in today's video, we gotta talk about what's next for the Charlotte Hornets. Now, this was a highly requested video, man. Y'all went crazy in that poll, and a lot of people said the Charlotte Hornets and the Golden State Warriors. I already delivered on the Golden State Warriors video, but now it's time for the Charlotte Hornets video. Now, before we do hop into this, I do want to shout all you guys out for the support. Y'all been going crazy, and man, without further ado, let's switch over and let's get right into it. All right, so to figure out what's next for this Charlotte Hornets team, we have to take a look at the season prior. Now, in the 2023-2024 season, the Charlotte Hornets finished with a record of 21 wins and 61 losses. They finished 13th in the NBA Eastern Conference, and man, it was definitely a tough season for them, but there were a couple of bright spots. Now, one of the bright spots was their number 2 draft pick in Brandon Miller. Now, for the 2023-2024 season, Brandon Miller did average 17.3 points per game, and that was on decent efficiency for his first year in the league, man. His efficiency from the field was 44%, and his three-point percentage was 37% on damn near 7 attempts per game, which is definitely nice and definitely something that you like to see and hear if you are a Charlotte Hornets fan. One other thing I will say is that I did like his defense. I think his defense was a little underrated. And yeah, man, he has a bright future, very athletic, and has a great build for the NBA to be a 3-and-D player, and he could definitely do more than just 3-and-D. Now, another player I want to bring a light on is Miles Bridges, man. Miles Bridges, he did return to the NBA this year, and this year he did average 21 points per game. Now, that 21 points per game was on solid efficiency. He shot 46% from the field and 35% from 3. So overall, great year. When it came to rebounds, he averaged 7 rebounds per game, and he also averaged 3 assists per game. So overall, just a solid year for him. The third player that I do want to bring some light on is LaMelo Ball. Now, LaMelo Ball, he didn't really play a lot this year, man. He only played 22 games, and then for the rest of the year he was out, he was injured, and that's something that we will speak about a little later on in the video. But yeah, man, for the 22 games that he did play, it was a little inefficient, but it still was decent, man. He averaged 24 points per game, and with that 24 points per game, he did shoot 44% from the field, which is okay. You want that to be a little higher, but when it came to his three-point percentage, he shot 37% from 3 on 7 attempts, which is great. So overall, he had a pretty solid year. And when it came to assists, we all know that he was a great passer. He averaged 8 assists per game. So like I was saying, overall, he was looking to have a great year, but injuries definitely derailed him. So that's definitely unfortunate when it comes to him. Now, they did lose a couple of players, and they did gain a couple of players. They lost Terry Rozier, but they ended up gaining Grant Williams. And while Grant Williams was on this team, he played fairly well. He shot 50% from the field, which is great. And when it came to his three-point shot, he shot 37% from the 3, which is also great. He averaged 13 points per game, so that's definitely a sign that you like. They also lost PJ Washington. That's somebody else to note that they lost. But with all that being said, I do just want to go over to this team's salary so that we could see what this team is working with financially and what moves can be made. All right, so we have switched over, as you guys can see, and as you guys can see, we have the Charlotte Hornets salary, and let's scroll down. Let's take a look at these salaries, and y'all already know the different options. Light blue is player option, red is team option, green is qualifying offer, and purple is two-way contract. Now, just from what I can see, it looks like their team payroll for the 2024-2025 season, it is bottom 10, so it's not like they're really paying a lot of money, which is a good thing for a rebuilding team. Now, the first thing to notice that LaMelo Ball is locked in for the next 4 seasons, and he's making a grip, man. He's making a grip. He's making pretty much $40 million a year, which is good money. Shout out to him, man. Another player who locked in for another 2 seasons is Miles Bridges. He locked in for $25 million these next 2 seasons. So that's definitely a nice contract, because me personally, I think it's a good salary if you want to trade. I feel like that $25 million amount is a good amount of salary if you want to make some trades for either a star or a great couple of role players. Grant Williams, he locked in for the next 2 seasons as well on $13 million a year, which is cool. Another addition that they got, Josh Green, who is a young kind of 3-and-D player. He's around like 6'5" when it comes to his size, but he does have a lot of potential. They got him from the Mavs, and yeah, I like him too. I like him too a lot, and hey, he has potential to be a solid 3-and-D player. Of course, you got their number 2 draft pick from last year, Brandon Miller, who is locked in on a great contract. And then in that 3rd season, he's gonna be getting that bag, so shout out to him. Then you got a couple of more so irrelevant players, such as Cody Martin, Davis Bertans, Reggie Jackson, Trey Mann on the team. He alright, but overall, they have a lot of wiggle room, man. They just got Taj Gibson, so that's cool to have a veteran on their team. But yeah, man, overall, I do feel like they have a lot of wiggle room. And let's just get to what's next for this team, man. So at number 1, you want the younger players to continue developing. This team is still somewhat rebuilding, and they have a lot of young players, man. You got Brandon Miller. He in his early 20s. I believe he's only 20 or 21. I think he's 20. So yeah, he very young. You got LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball's still fairly young as well. He only like 21. So, you want those 2 players to continue to grow and build. A player like Josh Green, he's still young. You want him to continue building and continue getting better. So that's number 1. You kind of already got the players that you want to build your future around. And LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller, they both shown that they have star potential. LaMelo Ball, especially when it comes to his passing and just his diversity offensively. And then Brandon Miller as well. He last year he kind of proved that he isn't just going to be a 3-and-D player. He can do more things than just play defense and shoot corner threes or shoot spot up threes. He can also take you off the dribble. He can also ISO if he needs to. So that's number 1. Those 2 players right there continuing to get better and continuing to build chemistry, because LaMelo Ball, he wasn't playing that much last year. So you definitely want those 2 players to continue to build chemistry with each other so that they can make this team better, because they are the 2 focal points on the team. At number 2, I would say figure out what you want to do with Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges, he is still kind of young. I believe he's 25 years old. But at the same time, he's kind of that odd man out, in my opinion. The reason I say that is just because we all know the situation he had outside of the NBA. And hey, like I said, he has a nice contract at $25 million per game. And you could definitely make some moves with that contract. So I definitely think that that's number 2 right there. You know, figure out what you're going to do with Miles Bridges and possibly trade him. Now, just to add some more context, if I am the Charlotte Hornets, I am trying to trade Miles Bridges. And the player that I would be trying to trade Miles Bridges for is Lauri Markkanen, because I believe their salaries are around the same amount. I think Lauri Markkanen, he getting paid around $20 million, so their salaries are around the same amount. Just probably throwing a first round pick or so, and you may be able to get Lauri Markkanen. If you can't get Lauri Markkanen, I would say maybe Zach LaVine, but I think he's a little too injury prone. I wouldn't really want him, so I'd go with another piece in Jeremy Grant. Now, as you guys can see, Jeremy Grant, he was making around $30 million a year for the next couple of years, and you could definitely match these salaries. I do think that you can match these salaries. They're not too far off. So maybe a Jeremy Grant, man, just to beef up that power forward spot. And then of course Jeremy Grant, he plays better defense than Miles Bridges. So yeah, you might have the potential with that move. I'm not saying that it's a great move, but hey, I think it's solid. Now, besides that, at number 3, I would say pray that their new coach gets them some dubs. Now, what I mean by that is that, as we know, Steve Clifford, he actually got fired, and now their coach is Charles Lee. Now, I don't really know too much information about Charles Lee. I don't really know too much about his background, but you gotta hope that he is one of those, phenom coaches, one of those younger coaches, and not necessarily younger in age, but younger in career. And you gotta hope that he's one of those coaches that, although young in career, is great, such as the Brad Stevenson. You gotta hope that you have one of those on your hand, because hey man, Steve Clifford, he wasn't it, man. He definitely wasn't it. And hey man, I do think this team has potential. They got potential. They're starting to put the pieces together when it comes to getting those right players for the right positions, but can they actually put it together? Can the coach put it together? Can the coach build the game plan for this team that will work? We don't know. Can LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller mesh well? We don't know, but we will see in this upcoming season. So with that being said, that's my video on what's next for the Charlotte Hornets. If you enjoyed this video, you already know what to do. Like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the motherfucking channel, turn on notifications and all that good stuff, and I'm out.